Let us look at this question. In an exam, the average marks of 4 girls and 6 boys is 24. Each of the girls has the same marks while each of the boys has the same marks. So, let us assume the marks of each girl is G and marks of each boy is B. So, that means marks of 4 girls will be 4G and 6 boys will be 6B. And if the average is 24, that means what will be sum of their marks? It will be 24 average into number of students 10. So, this will be, when I cancel out 2 on both sides, 2G plus 3B will be equal to 120. Now, here please note, G is the marks scored by each girl, B is the marks scored by each boy. It is not given anywhere that they are integers, right? B and G could be non-integer values also. If the marks of any girl is at most double the marks of any boy, any girl is G, is at most means less than or equal to double the number of marks of any boy. We have taken any boy as B, so double of that will be 2B. But not less than. Now, when I say not less than, it means greater than or equal to. So, G is greater than or equal to the marks of any boy. So, that means the marks of each girl will lie in a range. The range is determined by value of B. So, minima is B to maxima of 2B. That means, if I take an example, suppose each boy scores 10 marks. So, B is 10. So, if each boy scores 10 marks, then according to that inequality, the marks scored by each girl will be between 10 to 20. It could be 11, it could be 12, it could be 10, it could be 20, such that range. Okay. Next, then the number of possible distinct integer values of the total marks of 2 girls and 6 boys. So, when I say 2 girls and 6 boys, please note that is nothing but 2 girls and 3 boys is 120. So, can I say 2 girls and 6 boys will be nothing but 2 girls plus 3 boys plus 3 boys. And I already know 2 girls plus 3 boys is 120 plus 3B. So, to find the number of distinct integer values, only integer values for that particular expression 120 plus 3B. So, clearly if you want number of distinct integral values, can I say 120 plus 3B? What is its minima? We need to calculate that. What can be the minimum value for this? What can be maximum value for this? And from that minima to maxima, we need to take all the integer values. Okay, let us go for this. Now, if you look at this inequality, so can I say the minimum value for G can be B? So, if I put G as B here, so let us put B. So, what does this give me? Let G is equal to B. So, this will be 2B plus 3B. So, that means 5B will be 120. So, that means B will be 24. So, B will be 24. This one value, one of the possible values for B, when I take one of the extremes of this inequality, that G is equal to B. So, when I say G is equal to B, the value of B I am getting it as 24, that means value of G is also 24 in that case, because they are equal. Next, second case, using the same equation in that inequality, we see that on the other end, G should be less than or equal to 2B. So, let us put G equal to 2B. So, if G is 2B, what will happen? 2 into 2B will be 4B plus 3B, 7B is 120. So, the value of B that I will get is 120 by 7, which happens to be what? 17.14. And if this is 17.14, G will be twice of this, 34.28. Okay. Now, please also note the value of B could lie right from 24, the maxima value, to 17.14, and there will be so many other values in between. Because we have considered the two extreme cases, G equal to B, one extreme, G equal to 2B, the other extreme, we will get all the possible values for B. So, the minimum value for B I see is around 17.14, maxima value is around is 24. So, thus he is asking us what can be the number of integral values for 120 plus 3B. So, 120 plus 3B. What about the minima? For minima, I will put B as 17.14. So, it will be 120 plus 3 into 17.14 will be what? 51.42. So, that means I will get this expression, the minimum value is 171.42. Maxima. So, maxima will be when B is maximum 24. So, this will be equal to 120 plus 3 into 24, 72, which will give us 192. So, can I say this expression, the expression that I want, can take all values from 171.42 to 192. And since we want only integer values, can I say the integer values will be 172, 171 I cannot take it, please note, 173, 192. So, how many integers are there from 172 to 192? It is 192 minus 172, 20 plus 1, 21. So, answer will be 21, option choice B. Okay. 14th one, Anil invests 22,000 for 6 years in a certain scheme with 4% interest per annum, compounded half yearly. So, it is a multiple compounding problem. The rate of interest is 4% per annum. So, that means for half a year it will be 2%. Also, if the period of investment is 6 years, so number of times it will be compounded will be 12, because each year there is 2 compoundings. Sunil invests in the same scheme for 5 years and then reinvests the total amount, entire amount received in the end of 5 years for 1 year at 10% SI, simple interest. If the amounts received by both at the end of 6 years are the same, then the initial investment made by Sunil in rupees is. Let's do one thing. Let's calculate the final amount by Anil. So, what will be final amount by Anil? We know that will be equal to the final amount by Anil should be equal to final by Sunil. Sorry, this is Sunil. So, what will be final amount of Anil? It is a CI problem. Compound interest was the formula P into 1 plus R by 100. Now, that R should be your actual R, the R that you are going to use. The 4% given is the nominal R, right? We are not going to use that actually. So, actual R is only 2%. So, 2 by 100 whole to the power, number of times it is done, compounding is done, which is 12. So, this will give us a final amount by Anil, received by Anil. What about Sunil? Sunil invested in the same scheme for 5 years. So, suppose he invested S rupees. So, same rate of interest, 5 years would mean it would happen 10 times. And then whatever is his amount that he got, this entire amount that he got after 5 years, he reinvests that into SI at 10%. So, what is SI at 10% for 1 year? So, this is basically into 1.1. 10% increase would mean into 1.1, right? If a value increases by 10%, it becomes 1.1 times the original value. So, both should be equal. So, if you notice both sides, this power 10 and power 10 will go away, square will remain. So, this will go 50 times. So, 22,000 into 51 by 50 square. I will write it 2 times. And here it is S into 11 by 10. Okay. So, 11 will go 2000 times and 10 will go 1 time. This 50 or this 5 will go 40 times and this will go 8 times. So, finally, the value initial investment by Sunil will be equal to 51 square into 8. And how much is 51 square? It is 2601 into 8. So, how much is this? Let us calculate. 8 into 1, 8, 800, 8648, 4 carry, 20. So, 20808. That will be our answer. So, the initial investment made by Sunil will be 20808. We can answer it like this. Okay. 15th one. Arvind travels from town A to town B and Surbhi from town B to town A, both starting at the same time along the same route. Okay. Arvind is going here, Surbhi is going here, both are starting at the same time and both are travelling towards each other basically. Arvind is going to B and Surbhi is going to A. After meeting each other, so suppose they meet somewhere here, they meet somewhere here, that's a meeting point suppose. So after meeting each other, Arvind takes 6 hours to reach town B. So that means for this part of the journey, time taken by Arvind is 6 hours. Well, Surabhi takes 24 hours beyond this. Time taken by Surabhi for this part of the journey is 24 hours. If Arvind travelled at a speed of 54 kmph, so Arvind is travelling at 54 kmph, then the distance in kilometers between towns A and B is. So what is the distance between the two towns, A and B? We know speed of Arvind, so probably if we can find out the total time taken by Arvind, we can easily answer our question as speed into time. So we also know that for part of the journey, Arvind is taking 6 hours. So for this part of the journey, how much time will Arvind take? We don't know. Suppose time taken by Arvind is T hours. So if this is T, can I say for this part of the journey, time taken by Surabhi will also be T hours? Because they started simultaneously, and when they meet, both would have travelled for equal time. So it will, if it's T for Arvind, it will be T for Surabhi also, the starting time to the meeting time. Now there is a formula, if you know, in time, speed and distance. The formula works like this. If two people start simultaneously towards each other, they meet at a certain point after T hours, suppose, and beyond that meeting, the first person takes T1 time to reach the destination, the second person takes T2 time to reach the destination, then the time T is given as square root of T1 into T2. So here this T1, the time taken by Arvind to reach the destination is 6 hours, and time taken by Surabhi after the meeting to reach the destination is 24. So that means the time taken for them to meet T will be nothing but square root of this, which happens to be 12 hours. So that means for this part of the journey, Arvind took 12 hours. For remaining part, Arvind took 6 hours. So can I say the total time taken by Arvind will be 12 hours here and 6 hours there, 18 hours. I know Arvind's speed, so thus can I say the distance AB will be nothing but speed of Arvind into time taken by Arvind. So it's going to be 324 into 972 kilometers. So it's going to be 972 in kilometers. I hope we are clear with this. So in this question, if you notice, there was a direct usage of this formula. So if you know this formula, things would have been little easier. You would have successfully saved around a minute. Okay, easily around a minute. You would have saved that if you remember this formula. Next one. It says the amount of job that Amal, Sunil and Kamal can individually do in a day are in HP, harmonic progression. So amount of job would mean what? Basically because he's talking about in a day. So you can also take it as rates of work for the three. So what do you mean by rate of work? The amount of work that I can do in a unit time. So typically it's a per hour or per day kind of thing. Here he clearly says in a day. So let's take that as rate. So suppose the rate of Amal is A units per day, Sunil is S units per day, Kamal is K units per day. And it's given that A, S, K are in HP. Kamal takes twice as much time as Amal to do the same amount of job. So Kamal takes twice as much time. So if Kamal takes twice the time, that means can I say Kamal is half as efficient? So if I take Kamal's efficiency as K, so can I say Kamal's efficiency K will be half the efficiency of Amal? So K will be equal to A by 2 is what we may note down. If Amal and Sunil work for 4 days and 9 days respectively, so that means Amal is for 4 days, Sunil is for 9 days. That is how I understand, because he says respectively. Kamal needs to work for 16 days to finish the remaining part of the job. Then the number of days Sunil will take to finish the job working alone will be how much? Observe. So once I get K is A by 2, and also I know A, S, K should be in HP. That would mean S will be harmonic mean of these two. So what is harmonic mean of two numbers? 2AB by A plus B if the numbers are A and B. So it will be 2 into A into K by A plus K. Now replace the value of K there. So S will be equal to what? 2 into A into K is A by 2 by A plus A by 2. This will cancel out, okay. This will be equal to what? This is a square, a plus a by 2 is 3 by 2a, will be 2 by 3. So basically the efficiency of S you will get as 2/3 a. Now please combine all the three. So I know Amal's efficiency is a only. What about Sunil's efficiency? It is 2/3 a. So can I replace this S by 2/3 a, and K is a by 2 directly. A by 2. So if I ask you what is the ratio of their efficiencies, so can I say Amal is to Sunil is to Kamal. The ratio of their efficiency is A is to A by 2. Now let's multiply throughout by 6 and we can cancel out this A anyway. So when you multiply by 6, you will get 6 into 2 by 3 will give you what? 4. 6 into 1 by 2 will give you 3. So that means if Amal does 6 units of work per day, Sunil will do 4 units of work per day and Kamal will do 3 units of work per day, and they are in HP. We can verify that. Now, what is the question now? Please note, he says if Amal and Sunil, I'll write it in different ink here. If Amal and Sunil work for 4 days, so Amal worked for 4 days and Sunil for 9 days respectively, Kamal needs to work for 16 days to finish the work. So that means how much is the total work? Amal is working for 4 days, Amal's efficiency is 6, let's take it as 6 units only. Then Sunil is working for 9 days, Sunil's efficiency is 4. Then Kamal needs to work for 16 days, Kamal's efficiency is 3. And how much is this? This is 24, this is 36. 24 and 36 is 60. 60 and 48 is 108 units of work is there totally. Now the question, the number of days Sunil will take to finish the job working alone. So Sunil's efficiency is how much? 4. So thus can I say the time taken by Sunil to work alone and finish this much quantity of work will be the amount of work divided by his efficiency. When you solve this, this will be giving us 27 days. Number of days, my answer is 27. That should be the correct answer for this. Next, 17th one. So now we are moving into geometry. Alright, now we have some geometry based problems. But one unique thing about Cat 23 was the weightage which was generally given to arithmetic, that slightly shifted towards algebra also. So algebra also had almost equal weightage if you look at the questions also that we have covered today as compared to arithmetic. And the weightage of geometry has slightly come down. Right? That's something that has happened. But again, if you look at Cat 24 again, it has regained its importance, the arithmetic section. 17th one, let's look at this. A quadrilateral ABCD is inscribed in a circle such that AB is to CD. So there is a circle that we have. And in this circle, you have a quadrilateral ABCD such that AB is to CD is 2:1. So suppose this is AB. See, this is, say this is BC, this is D, this is AD. So such that AB is to CD is 2:1. So if I take this is 2 units, this will be 1 unit. BC is to CD is 5:4. If I take this is 5 units, this will be 4 units. Diagram is not perfect, alright. So let's only take the representation aspect of it. It is not accurate at all. If AC and BD intersect at point E, so the diagonals basically, the intersecting at point E, this is the point E, I note. Then AE is to CE. So AE is to CE equals how much? So AE is to CE will be how much? Okay, let's try to figure this out. Let's see what can be done for this, right? AE is to CE. Okay. Alright, observe, I'll just write down some values here based on the ratio that we have. So if this is 2A, this is going to be A units, right? And if this is 5B, this is going to be 4B, correct? I'll just write that down. Okay. Next, observe the following. If you look at these two triangles, for example, so look at the triangle AED and the triangle BEC. Let's look at these two. If you look at AED and BEC, can we say this chord AB makes certain angle here, θ1, suppose. So it makes the same angle elsewhere on the circle also. That means if this is θ1, can I conclude this should also be θ1? So that means angle D of this triangle is same as angle C of this triangle. Also, look at these two angles. Can I say they are vertically opposite? So angle E of this triangle will be equal to angle E of this triangle. When the moment I am able to prove that two of the angles of two triangles are equal, the two triangles are definitely similar. So we can say that they are similar for sure. So once we can prove this similarity, we can say that the ratio of the corresponding sides. So for example, AE by BE should be same as ED by EC should be same as AD by BC for sure. They should all be equal, we can say. And what are the values that we know? Do we know AE? No, we don't. Do we know BE? No, we don't know even that. But do we know ED? If you know not about ED, no, we don't even know that. And what about EC? Do we know EC? No, we don't even know that. AD? Yes, we do know that, 4. And BC? Yes, we know that. So this is 4:5. 4B by 5B, we know it is 4:5. So can I say AE by BE, I know it is 4/5. But the question is not about AE and BE. The question is AE and CE ratio. We have to figure that out. Okay. So let's do something else. Now also, please consider in this. So now we have taken these two triangles. Let us also consider these two triangles. Let's see what can we say. So consider the triangle DEC, the above triangle, and the triangle which is below, which is triangle AEB. Consider this. Now, if I take these two, notice what do we get here. So again, in this triangle, if you take the chord BC, the chord BC subtends an angle of θ2, suppose here. So can I say the same angle will be subtended at A also? It will also be θ2. So that means the angle D here in this triangle will be same as angle A here in this triangle. They will be equal, θ2 and θ2 also. These two angles, can I say, are vertically opposite angles again? They will be equal. So angle E here is same as angle E here. Yet again, can I say the two triangles we are talking about are similar? We can prove the similarity. Once they are similar, we can again say the ratio of the corresponding sides. So DE by AE will be same as EC by EB will be same as DC by AB. And also note, what is DC by AB? DC by AB is 1/2. So hence can I say here EC by EB, I am taking this particular part for a specific reason, is 1/2. This is also not giving us the answer, but if you notice, please observe, if you divide these two, see what you get. If you divide these two, you can actually cancel out this BE and BE, divide them. So when you divide this, so can I say my AE by CE is same as, is nothing but this divided by that, which is nothing but 4/5, the value of this ratio by 1/2. So you do that, you will get the value as 8/5 or simply 8:5. So option choice 4 is going to be the correct answer. So we can solve it by using similarity concept this way. I hope we are clear with this. Next, let the circle x square plus y square plus 4x minus 6y minus 3 equal to 0. So if you look at the circle, the center of the circle, let's write it down. Center will be -2, 3, and radius. Radius of the circle, there is a formula that we have for center and radius. I hope we know that. The center is obtained as, take the coefficient of x, take half of that and change the sign. The coordinate of y, x comma y, right? So the value of x, the x coordinate of the center will be half of this, change the sign. The value of y will be half of this, change the sign. So when I do that, I'll get that. And what about radius? Radius is given as square root of sum of the squares of these coordinates. So -2 whole square plus 3 square and here you need to subtract this constant, so minus of minus 3. So it's going to be 4. When you do this, you will get 4. So it's 16. So 16 square root is 4. So we know the radius and the center of the given circle. And let L be the locus of the point of intersections of pair of tangents to C, with the angle between the two tangents equal to 60 degree. Then the point at which L is nothing but the locus of points, touches the line x equal to 6 is. Now by the way, x equal to 6 line is a vertical line. It will be parallel to y-axis. So that locus, that point where it touches the line x equal to 6, at which point does it touch? We have to find that. Okay. So if you take the circle, how would the circle look? The center is minus 2, 3. So somewhere here it would be minus 2, 3. The radius is 4. So thus it would cross over this x-axis and also y-axis, right? Roughly it would look like this. Something like this. And now we need to find the locus of point of intersection of a pair of tangents to C. So this is the circle C, with angle between the tangents to be 60 degree. Now please note, if I take a point, suppose like this, point X, which is the point from which we are drawing the tangents to C. Like this. Now we know that the lengths of the tangents to a given circle from an external point are equal. The length of the tangents are equal. Now if the angle between the tangents has to be 60 degree. So suppose it meets here at point A and here at point B. So if you consider AX and BX, their lengths are going to be equal. So that means if I connect A with B, can I say I'll get an equilateral triangle like this? So ABX is going to be an equilateral triangle. So if ABX is an equilateral triangle, all sides are equal, all angles are 60 degree, that's a known fact, right? That's something that we already know. But what can we say about the possible positions of X that way? Where can X come? So if ABX is, so basically this X is locus of point of intersection of pair of tangents to C, with the angle between the two tangents to be 60 degree. Now please note, this X could also probably lie here. Could also probably lie here, because here also I can draw pair of tangents which will be at 60 degree. Here also I can draw pair of tangents which will be at 60 degree. X could probably be here or here or here or here, anywhere. So basically if you notice, so X could lie anywhere around the circle in this manner. So probably it would be like another circle. It would be a circle in itself now, right? So something like this. So when this circle, at which point, basically he is asking us at which point does this locus touches the line x equal to 6. So x equal to 6 line, as I said, would be somewhere here. So at which point would it be touching is the question. Let's try to identify that. So once I notice that this would be something like a circle, I have not proved it, I can just visualize it, because from any point here I can draw a pair of tangents which will make 60 degree, or this triangle will be equilateral triangle, alright. Okay, and also for this circle, the yellow circle, the center should be the same, minus 2, 3. And let's try to talk about the radius here. What can be the radius of the circle? So the yellow circle. The radius of this circle I know is 4. The radius of this circle is 4. What can we say about this yellow circle radius? Let's try to figure that out. So I know that if I connect this to A and this to B, it will be 90 degree. So this is going to be 4, this is going to be 4, please note. And I know this overall is 90 degree, radius is perpendicular to tangent, out of which this angle is 60 degree because it's part of equilateral triangle. So this will be 30 degree. So similarly, this angle will be 30 degree, and hence this angle here will be 120 degree. Now there is a special type of triangle that we have. If you have angles as 120, 30 and 30, It is an isosceles triangle. Then the sides are as follows. These two sides which are opposite to equal angles will be equal, and the third side which is longest will be root 3 times. So if this is 1, this will be root 3 times. So can I say one thing here? Can we say one thing here? If this is 4, this length AB is going to be 4 root 3. 4 root 3, and hence AX and BX will also be 4 root 3 only, right? It will be 4 root 3 only. If I connect X with the center, right? So this will be the green segment that I have drawn here will be the radius of the yellow circle. Right? How do we determine that? How can we possibly determine the value of, right? How can we do that is, see for example, this part till here will be nothing but the height of the equilateral triangle. That will be height of the equilateral triangle, which is root 3 by 2 into side length, which when you solve it will be 2 into 3, 6. So this will be 6, okay, and this is 6, and there will be some more here, there will be some distance here also, right? How much will that distance be? So if you try to figure that out, this distance will be how much? So this is root 3 by 2, this part is also root 3 by 2, I need to figure out this one out here. So this one, when you will do it, you will get this as half. So this will be half. So the ratio of the sides will be, ratio of the 3 sides will be, if this is 1 opposite to 90 degree, this is 4, then this part out here will be half of that, 2. So this will be 2 units. So that means this part is 2 and this is 6. So overall the radius of the outer circle is 8. Radius of the outer circle is 8. Now please think, if you want the radius to be 8, what is the farthest that x can go? X can go possibly some value minus 2 plus 8, 6, 3. Plus 8, you do plus 8 here, since I got the radius as 8, you do plus 8 here, minus 2 plus 8 will give you 6, 3. And now the question is, the point at which this point or this locus will touch the line x equal to 6, x equal to 6 will exactly be here. So where is it touching? It is touching at 6, 3. So hence the answer for this question should be the fourth option. So 6, 3 should be our correct answer for this. This is one of the ways in which we can get to our answer by finding out the radius of the outer circle. Let's move on. Achha, by the way, there is a typo here. This is supposed to be 18th question, not 17th, because 17th was already done. It is 18th.